Okay, everybody, it's Kevin Wadsworth and Patrick Karim at NorthStarBadCharts.com, and we've got a real treat for you today. We've been talking about Kinesis quite a lot recently. We're very proud to be partnered with Kinesis, an amazing company with some amazing guys and girls probably as well running the company in the background there. So the CEO of Kinesis, we've got Thomas. Now, here we go. I've just asked you how you pronounce it, and you said Coughlin, or is it Coughlin? The Irish surname there. But yeah, Thomas, if you just want to introduce yourself and tell everybody all about yourself.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kevin. Thanks, Patrick, and thanks to your viewers as well for tuning in. So yeah, my name's Tom Coughlin, CEO of Kinesis Money. That's the website, kinesis.money. Also the CEO of an institutional bullion exchange called the Allocated Bullion Exchange, abx.com. You can check us out there as well. It's been around for 12 years, providing solutions to the institutional level of town. So really what we've done with Kinesis, and Kinesis was born from ABX, hence the little intro into ABX, and from the team at ABX. So it's got that institutional pedigree. And that's really how, I guess, that's where we came from at least. And then Kinesis represented really a solution that we saw was a gaping hole and could be provided into, I guess, the marketplace and face end-to-end retail public then as well. But it just so happens that we're now providing services to governments, to institutions, and the retail public. And despite us really sort of, being a startup, we've only been around for 5 years at Kinesis. We're really maturing. We're growing quite rapidly, I would say. And yeah, so what it actually is it's a monetary system, really, utilizing blockchain technology, but with the base currencies being gold and silver. So it's really physical gold and silver in the blockchain being utilized as money. We have this overarching yield system, which for the first time provides a non-debt based yield to users within the system. There's various different ways in which they can earn a yield through just holding metals in the system, through utilizing the metals as money within the system as well. So, there's a minter's yield whereby if I create the money, I act as my own central bank and then send, spend or sell it, then I actually receive a minter's yield. And we just incentivize the organic expansion through our referral programs or our velocity yields, which is spending and activity within the system. Everyone gets rewarded. Just quickly, the way that the yield system works, it aggregates the fees of the system, so it should not be confused with any sort of debt or leverage or anything like that. That's not what we do at Kinesis at all. Wouldn't even know how to be lending any of our assets out at all. All we do is say, okay, well, this system is a collective sharing of wealth. And when there's a transaction fee charged, instead of us just, booking it through as clear revenue and banking it and putting it on our balance sheet, it aggregates in the master fee pool in the blockchain. And then at the end of each month, it's distributed out to our different market participants. So users can even, monitor that in the blockchain on our Explorer and see the master fee pool clicking up. At the end of each month, we share 57.5% of all fees generated during the month with our users. So that's one unique aspect of our system. It's actually where the name Kinesis came from, being movement, like in ancient Greek, movement from stimulus, actually. Non-directional movement from stimulus. So we've tried to really, and actually, sorry, rewinding a little bit, the reason why that is in place as well is because of a principle called Gresham's Law, which stipulates bad money drives out good. And so what that means is when you have an economy or an economy with two competing currencies that are able to be used, people typically hoard the more valued currency and they spend the less valued currency. So what you then find is, okay, so for people who value gold and silver, they're making that decision to convert their fiat into gold and silver. So why would they then use it as a payment currency? So we've tried to incentivize the use of it as a payment currency. So when it comes time to, okay, what currency am I going to use at the checkout? They'll use the Kinesis currencies because they're rewarded for doing so. And it's just through basically the economy, the ecosystem in which they're operating. The rules are such that it shares with them. So that's a really cool feature of the whole system that we've built out. Obviously, we've got gold and silver as money, which in my view are the true universal currencies of the world. Lasted the test of time throughout millennia. They've held their the value throughout millennia and been treated and respected as currency and items of value by ancient civilizations on. And we've just married it up with, I guess, the latest and greatest in technology in the payment sector, and so to modernize them, I guess, so they can be used as money. So you can
in essence, what users can do then in essence is they're buying gold and silver, physical gold and silver, and I guess this is the clever bit. It's digitized in a way that you can spend your physical gold and silver. And not only that, but you can very quickly and very cheaply actually transfer between gold and silver and crypto. So if you see that gold is outperforming silver or silver is outperforming gold, you can switch from one to the other to benefit from the better appreciation of whichever one is going up in fiat terms the most at that time, or in relative terms compared to each other. Is that right?
Yeah, like certainly there's a really strong value proposition to like precious metal investors, in which case they can come in and buy or invest in precious metals, gold and silver. We've got an exchange platform whereby they can exchange, their fiat currencies, also cryptocurrencies as well, into gold or silver, or trade on that side. They can also just buy and hold, or the alternative is to actually use it as money. So we're looking to, bring back the gold and silver standard here. Governments won't do it, so we just figure private enterprise should. It's our view of the world as a sound money advocate that gold and silver should actually really truly be money, and they are money. So that's what we endeavoured to do.
And I'm pretty excited about this because anybody that follows me on social media or on our website will know I actually went out a couple of days ago, took my virtual Kinesis card on my smartphone here in the UK, went to my local store, and they didn't know I was buying my bread and my milk with silver, but I knew that, and it was very satisfying to do that. So and I posted that, and quite a lot of people have been asking, well, when's it going to be available in the US? When's it available in Canada or other parts of Europe? So do you have any sort of timelines for the rollout in other parts of the world?
Yep. Yeah, I certainly do. So yeah, we're live in 61 countries now with the virtual card. I mean, Kinesis has clients, I think, from over 180 countries, the last update I got, and we've got about 170,000 users to date. And really, we're gearing up for mass expansion to millions and then tens of millions. Like we're gearing up for mass expansion. But we're live like in Australia, New Zealand, I think, UK, Europe. The virtual card is still coming on in Canada. There's a few little problems there, but bear with us in Canada. And then around into major parts of Latin America and these places. And we're about to expand into Asia and the Middle East as well with the virtual card. And then after that will come Africa and the United States. United States is set for, let's just say, Q1 next year. But hoping to have it earlier. Hoping for a pleasant surprise, say, for example, in January, but could push into February.
Okay, well, I mean, that's not too long to wait. So I think in terms of a timeline, that's pretty good. And also another sort of question that we get quite a lot from our subscribers and followers on social media is the sort of safety and security protocols that you have in place, protection, and we've all seen what's happened with some of the cryptocurrencies and the exchanges just recently, and of course people are quite nervous and they're sort of saying, well, what sort of protections do we have? So what would you say on that?
Yes, we engage in a biannual audit. So this is like a physical audit of the metal where we have an independent specialist commodity auditor come in. They literally count all the bars, they inspect all the bars, they weigh the bars, they test a lot of the bars as well, just to even test like the gold and silver purity of them. They come in and they do that twice a year. So that and we post the audit reports. They're accessible from our website. And actually, we're just we're organising an audit right now. So yeah, I mean that should be out hopefully before the end of the year as well. So yeah, that's really what we do. We missed a couple of audits during COVID times because they wouldn't let the auditors in the vault, considered non-critical personnel. But there wasn't much that we could do there. But now that's a thing of the past, thank God, and we're catching up on all these audits.
So in terms of physical gold and silver, you are audited to prove and to show that the gold and silver that you are holding for clients, you do actually hold for clients, and if anything went wrong, then that is fully allocated, and in an absolute worst case scenario, they would get their metal delivered to the door, or they get the monetary value of the metal fully returned.
Yes, that's correct. We hold the metal on what's called a Bailey arrangement. That's the legal terminology for it, where we just act as like the safekeeper or the custodian of the metal, and we never take legal title of the metal. It's never hits our balance sheet or anything like that. It's just held in safekeeping for the investors and the users within our system. So, in the very unlikely event that anything goes wrong with Kinesis, then their metal is there, and there'll be a settlement process there to obviously either take delivery of the metal or liquidate the metal, of course.
And in terms of sort of moving forwards and what your plans are for the future, I mean, you've obviously mentioned there that you're going to be, or you're gearing up for mass expansion there. Are there any plans to maybe bring other metals like perhaps platinum on board, or any other cryptocurrencies in addition to the ones that you currently cover? So is there any sort of expansion in the in what's possible to trade on Kinesis?
Yep. So the Kinesis monetary system, the way that it is now, we have like the major cryptos, like we're not super fond of cryptos, let's just put it that way, but it's more so like basically a pipeline to bring capital into the system, but also just offer that optionality and choice to our users to be able to hold different currencies. I mean, it's their choice at the end of the day, which kind of currency and value that they hold. So providing that optionality. The Kinesis monetary system, I think, with the amount of cryptocurrencies that we have, and I think that's fine for now. That's our current platform. We do have some very exciting new tokens coming, or new currencies coming that, it's across the commodity space, let's put it that way. We don't have plans for platinum just yet, but even into really interesting things like farmland and these sort of things that can really empower people, take control of their food supply and stuff like that. So we're really interested in these kind of projects that grassroots communities are being built out around as well, and just alternative options that empower the people at the end of the day. Like, that's really what inspired Kinesis, the ability to offer that power to the people so they can take control of their money and value, protect themselves against inflation that we're seeing now, and things like this, and all the shenanigans that central planners might play out there. We will be launching a pro trader platform. The pro trader platform, it'll be fantastic for the active traders out there that are day traders and sitting there trading. It's a really neat pro trader platform. That as well, we're hoping to release that before end of year, might push into Q1 next year. But actually, I think it is scheduled for Q1 next year, so I don't want to put undue pressure on the team. I'm trying to get it into this year. But anyway, so that'll be released as well, and that'll have an expansive range of cryptocurrencies and fiats and that sort of thing. So, and any big day traders in the space out there, and that'll be fantastic for them. So yeah, and we've got a lot of other solutions coming that expands the ability to utilize your gold and silver as money. So tie-ups with networks of merchants, and we've got Kinesis Pay coming out, which makes it really easy for merchants to actually utilize Kinesis currencies as a form of payment, both online merchants and physical merchants. We've got a really great referral program which incentivizes people to pound the pavement and sign up their local businesses. They receive a share of all the transaction fees that the business does, like the referee does, as well as for every sign up, and this is of an individual or a business, they receive half an ounce of silver. That's just the way that we've got our referral program set up. So yeah, I thought I'd just throw it in there.
I think that's a really good summary of what Kinesis is about, and I like the sort of sound money kind of ethos that Kinesis has, and the approach that you guys are taking. I mean, I'm hats off to you guys. It must be a lot of work. I can't even begin to imagine the amount of work that's had to be put into all of this. But from my point of view, as an end user, using the app and using the website and going to my local store to buy my shopping with gold and silver, it was that's a first, and that's kind of a light bulb moment for me. The fact that we can do that now, we can pretty much bypass a lot of the issues that we have with fiat currencies. So I haven't let Pat get a word in so far. I don't know if Pat's got any questions as well. I've just been throwing the questions at you
that's fine,
that we've been getting from our members.
Yeah, well, I love what I'm hearing. It's like sometimes when I hear people say, well, you can't use gold, can't use silver. And then I said, what? Haven't you heard about Kinesis? What's wrong with you guys? That's why we're super happy, Kevin, to spread the word, because the solution's there. Jesus, Kevin did it. There's Jim's Force, right? He redeemed the silver physically. What are people talking about in the crypto world that gold's useless? You can't use it. You guys have proven that it's doable. And we love charts, and I have a 100-year chart of the purchasing power. I don't have the ones from the Egyptian times, but gold and silver over time inversely track the loss of purchasing power. So why the hell would you hold any fiat when you could just dump it in Kinesis as gold or silver? And that's the end of the day. For me, it's like there's no reason to hold any fiat when Kinesis exists. Seriously,
there's something reassuring about knowing that where you've got your money stored. If you ask for it to be delivered, you actually get something physical that exists. And if you drop it on your foot, as they say, it's going to hurt. So, and that is always going to it's always going to have a value. I don't know how a Bitcoin's going to feel if I drop it on my foot, but that's a whole other story. And I don't want to upset anybody. But there's something about knowing that you guys are the custodians of what I'm holding. That gold and silver.
That's the entire premise of what we wanted to do here, actually provide accessibility to physical gold and silver. Going back 12 years ago when I founded the Allocated Bullion Exchange, the opportunity in the market was, because I come out of the finance space initially, I was operating a little hedge fund back in those days, and I tried to buy physical gold and physical silver at the time. I think this was in 2008. I saw what was going on in the credit markets. And I'm like, okay, I want to diversify my investment portfolio holdings here. Let's get some physical gold and silver. I can see the counterparty risk out there in the market. And I wasn't happy with ETFs either, because I just thought, they're just, part of the system where you got these layers of counterparty risk there. So I actually wanted the fund, the hedge fund, to own physical gold and silver. And I called up the Perth Mint. Bless them if they're listening to this, but I called up the Perth Mint. I sat on hold for 2 hours to some rude customer service representative, and then I finally found out that the buy-sell spread was like 15%, or maybe it was 10% or something like that. So if I buy 1 minute and I sell the next, then I'm going to lose 10%. I'm like, this is like, there's an opportunity in the market to produce something that is appropriate for investment professionals. And to take that to market. And that's what really started the whole journey with the allocated bullion exchange, which initially it was an Australian-centric vision, and then went to a global vision, and then ultimately we saw what blockchain had done, and as far as providing utility and payments, and we utilized that to build Kinesis as well. And that's the monetary qualities of gold and how it's held its sort of a value throughout time is what really got us interested and involved in it. And now we're just consider ourselves, as part of steering a movement back into the like gold and silver as money, creating the gold and silver standard again. So and it comes with all these added benefits as well, I would say, in supporting the physical market, because you guys have probably studied it as well. There's all kinds of shenanigans that go on in the paper markets and in the derivative markets and this sort of thing. And what we've seen is the derivative markets, like, say, for example, COMEX futures, or the OTC market in London, which is just a fractional reserve paper contract, they have become the primary price discovery mechanisms, which actually lead and drive the price. The thing is, they're basically unlimited in supply. So, banks can just create contracts of OTC gold and silver, like XAU, XAG, because they're the market makers in it. They just need the fractional reserve backing and the reserves. And on the COMEX, the futures contracts can also just be created. The thing is, these futures contracts that are being created, most people previously were not taking delivery. The thing is now, if you look at the COMEX stocks, people are taking delivery, and COMEX stocks are getting drawn down massively. Eventually they hit zero, right? But I think there's a little bit of a run on the COMEX stocks now. And what starts to happen, because it's very difficult to get immediate delivery of silver in particular at the moment. And the mints are out by even up to 120, 180 days for delivery delays.
Wow.
So how is the spot price, which is that spot means immediate delivery, as you know, how is that relevant to a price where you can't get immediate delivery of it, a product where you can't get immediate delivery?
It's a little bit of a contradiction, isn't it? It's a spot price for something that you can't get. So it's effectively a futures price, even though it's a spot.
Exactly. So there's got to be some kind of pivoting and readjustment done here. And, we see ourselves as on a bit of a crusade to bring back the physical price as the primary price discovery mechanism. Derivatives do serve a purpose. They can sit on top of the physical product and provide industrial benefits, but they shouldn't be the primary price driver, because you can create derivative contracts just out of thin air. You can't create physical out of thin air.
And that is precisely why the fiat financial system has got itself into the state that it's in. It's that continual ability to just press a few buttons, create some more fiat, create some more debt, and hyperinflate eventually the currency into oblivion. And that's why we're in the mess that we're in. It's why raising interest rates is a problem, because being able to meet your debt repayment obligations is suddenly a problem if you're having to pay 5% interest on a 30 trillion plus debt. I mean, all of these mathematical facts seem to be sort of coming home to roost at the moment, and it all comes from that problem that you just described there.
Look, I don't want to drag this on, but my father's Lebanese. I have a lot of family in Lebanon, and I told my father in 2018 to buy gold, and all the Lebanese people who aren't holding US dollars there, they're done for. I don't know if you heard. They froze overnight. They froze their bank accounts. Kinesis would have been the ultimate solution. If you could consume it, use a Visa card or something, but at least it would have preserved their purchasing power, because the value of the Lebanese pound down the drain. It's it could happen anywhere. It happened to Lebanon. It's coming to a country near you, man. So
well, I mean, here in Europe, we've got interest rates of 10% plus, and that's even on the official. Sorry, not interest rates, inflation rates, I should say, of 10% plus. And those are the official inflation rates. Of course, the real inflation rate is, as we all know, probably considerably more than that if you look at the real figures. So, if you're talking about 15% inflation, that's pretty serious stuff.
Oh,
And
that's
to see your fiat just disappearing at 15% per annum, and then you look at gold and silver sort of matching the loss of purchasing power over time. You just think, well, hang on a minute, what am I doing holding paper currency? It doesn't make any kind of sense.
Right. And Patrick, I lived in Cyprus for a little bit, and just before I arrived there, they did the bank bail-in, where they just confiscated depositors' money out of the bank, like just gone. 90%. Like there's some horror stories where people had been saving for the last 10, 15 years to buy a house, and then gone. And so you don't see it coming, and they can just do it, and they've got all different ways to do it.
Overnight, the politicians, they get a heads up, they get their money out, but overnight, of the population, they didn't warn anybody. It's crazy, man. Even today, I tell my father they can't even take out $50 a week or a day. It's like it's crazy. And Lebanon's a beautiful country. Cyprus a beautiful country.
Beautiful.
It's so yeah. People think it can't happen in Canada, can't happen in Australia, but eventually we're gonna climb that curve of exponential inflation, and they're gonna start locking us down. It's a question of time.
I was just thinking as well, for countries that have bank guarantees that are backed by the government, those bank guarantees, those deposit guarantees will only cover a certain amount of cash held in the bank. So anything above and beyond that makes a lot of sense to store that elsewhere. So if you've got assets worth more than the bank guarantee, then a solution like Kinesis is a very, very neat solution to that. And to be honest, the bank guarantee backed by the government, how much do you trust that anyway? So
exactly.
Not entirely sure that
especially these days. I think a lot of people have got awoken with they're in a slumber, trusting governments. Everyone got hooked on the cheap credit, with the Band-Aid solutions provided, with the massive amounts of quantitative easing, money printing, and then going down to basically nil interest rates, in some areas negative interest rates. And we all drank the Kool-Aid. And now I think people are waking up to understanding what's going on. We got suckered into something, and now inflation's going to come. They'll confiscate basically the wealth of the medium class, and everyone's wealth really, through this inflation, and they'll be using all kinds of draconian measures. Like once the genie's out of the bottle, it's very difficult to stop. Like you can just see what's going on, and so I 100% agree with you, gentlemen, as far as this situation.
We're very, very happy to have you on the show, Tom, because we, and then maybe we'll have you back later, but we have to make mass awareness. It's like people are like deers in headlights. I swear, I talk to my family, people, they think I'm nuts. It's like, wake up, guys. Don't wait until your gold chart looks like the Turkish chart. And it's like, it's like the frog in the boiling water, right? It's like you crank up the volume, doesn't even know, and it's cooked. That's what's happening to the population. They're getting you just a little bit at a time. So hopefully we help folks wake up a little bit.
And I appreciate what you guys are doing in spreading the word as well. So thank you very much. Thanks for having me on. Really appreciate it, and look forward to coming back sometime soon.
We appreciate your time there, Tom.
Thanks, Kevin. Thanks, Patrick.
Bye.
Thank you very much for joining us. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.